Today is July 6, 2026, and this is our news brief on tech and small business. Tesla caps employee AI spending at $200 per week. Tesla set a $200 per week cap on employee spending on third-party AI tools effective July 6, 2026. The cap follows 6 months of the company gamifying AI adoption internally, including leaderboards ranking engineers by token use, after which some engineers were burning through thousands of dollars in tokens weekly. Spending above the cap requires manager sign-off. Beta versions of xAI's own tools, including Grok, are exempt from the limit. A little bit of context, token-based AI billing charges companies for every individual prompt. So unlike flat rate software licenses that don't scale with usage, Meta, Amazon, and Walmart have already introduced similar caps or push staff towards cheaper models for the same reason. So here's some implications to that. Enterprise AI spending is shifting from an unmonitored growth expense to a metered cross-center companies now actively police. Any business rolling out AI tools company-wide should expect usage costs to spike unpredictably unless caps or models tiering are built in from day one. Google's AI build-out drives record 37% jump in electricity use. Google's total electricity demand rose 37% over the past year, its largest single-year increase on record, per its 2026 environmental report. Data centers running AI training, inference, and Google's scaling Gemini product suite drew roughly 42 billion megawatt hours in 2025, comparable to New Zealand's entire annual electricity use. Greenhouse gas emissions rose 18%, the largest annual jump Google has reported, driven largely by manufacturing AI chips and servers. Water consumption climbed 34% to 10.9 billion gallons. The 37% jump compares to a 27% increase the prior year and roughly 3.5 times Google's 2019 electricity use. Google signed a record 12 gigawatts of clean energy agreements this year, and it says its AI build-out is accelerating faster than the grid can. So here's the implications. AI's energy bill is now growing faster than the clean power supply meant to offset it, at one of the best resourced companies in tech. Expect rising pressure on data center utility rates and grid capacity in regions hosting AI infrastructure, costs that eventually flow through to cloud pricing. Meta moves to rent out its Access AI compute. Meta is preparing to sell Access AI compute capacity through a new unit reportedly called Meta Compute, per a Bloomberg report published on July 1st. The plan is led by infrastructure chief Satoshi Narayan, alongside Meta Superintelligence Lab Daniel Gross and Meta President Dina Powell McCormick, and would offer either hosted model access or raw GPU capacity. Meta is spending an estimate 125 to 145 billion on AI infrastructure in 2026, up from the 72 billion in 2025, likely more than its own products currently need. The move would put Meta in direct competition with Amazon Web Services, AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft's Azure, the three incumbents that currently dominate cloud infrastructure. The CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, flagged selling spare capacity as an option at the company's late May shareholding meeting. So here's some implications to that. A social media company is on the verge of becoming a cloud infrastructure competitor purely because its overbuilt AI compute may get cheaper and more available for AI startups as big tech spare capacity hits the open market, charging the calculus for anyone currently locked into a cloud contract. NVIDIA launches revenue share financing to get GPUs into cloud providers' hands. NVIDIA launched a revenue sharing and credit support financing model on July 1st, letting AI cloud providers access its Grace Blackwell GB300 GPUs without paying the full cost upfront. First partners Sharon AI and Firmus Technologies committed to 210,000 GB300 GPUs combined across Australia and Indonesia. Sharon AI up to 40,000, Firmus roughly 170,000. If deployed, GPUs sit idle, NVIDIA backstops the gap by renting or buying back unused capacity at set prices, taking equity warrants or a declining share of cloud revenue in return. To a little more context, smaller cloud providers have historically struggled to finance the billions in upfront capital to multi-billion-dollar GPU orders require. The model lets AI startups pay for compute from future revenue instead of a rising dilutive venture capital just to cover GPU bills. Here's some implications. NVIDIA is now acting as both the lender and insurer for the AI compute market, as it also tying its own revenue directly to how well its customers' cloud businesses perform. Expect more AI infrastructure players to lean on vendor financing rather than equity rises. Worth watching to see how it reshapes who can compete on compute access. Ooh, that's a mouthful. All right, and there you have it. That is today, July 6th, news brief on tech and small business. If you like this type of content, please follow and subscribe for more. And we're actually in the middle of working on a newsletter too, so that way you can stay up to date via newsletter. So stay tuned for that.